Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm not here with Geeky Sparkles. I'm going to talk about Star Wars. I'm going to talk about George Lucas, and it has come out in a new interview with him in the Wall Street Journal that he is 100% done with Star Wars. He's over it. He's moving on. He's not coming back to it. He said that Disney took it over and gave it their vision. That's what happens. Of course, I've moved past it. This also seems to support previous statements that George Lucas has made that he is not happy. He is not happy with the direction that Disney's taken Star Wars in. And I can't blame him. You know, I was posting yesterday before this came out that I was one of the first people to get tickets for the Phantom Menace when it came out. I think I might have actually been the first person in line. I was the first person in the theater. I sat in the front row, and that was for the Phantom Menace. And my wife and I, we went to Attack of the Clones together, and we went to the midnight showing then, and we were super excited for Star Wars. And now I just don't care. I don't care. I even took off work. I remember I just started working. I just took off work to go wait in line to buy Star Wars tickets. That's how excited I was for it. And Star Wars has meant a lot to my family over the years, especially my wife and I, and it is kind of dead to us because of Disney, because the way that they've treated the franchise. So yeah, it's not surprising that George Lucas himself is even like, Disney took it, they ran with it. I'm over it. I'm 100% done with it. This also goes along with previous statements he made to some school kids a couple of years ago. I remember this, that he said that he considers Star Wars to be 6 films. And they're his 6 films, and Disney took it in a totally different direction that he would not have taken it in. This also goes along with what he said on the Charlie Rose show, that to him, Disney were white slavers, and he sold his baby to these white slavers, and they just kind of took it in a different direction. I mean, he's really not been involved and not been vocally supportive of Disney Star Wars because he does not agree with where it's gone. And if the creator of the franchise, who's still alive, is telling you that they've got it wrong, then why the hell should we as fans care? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think this just kind of validates the feelings that a lot of us have had about Star Wars, in that it doesn't feel like George Lucas Star Wars. Every once in a while you get a little something, there that feels right, but a lot of it just feels very, very off, and he's washing his hands of the whole thing. Now, remember, there were rumors a couple of years ago that George Lucas was going to come back on a white tauntaun and save Star Wars from the badniks over at Disney, and he was going to single-handedly drive out Kathleen Kennedy, like some evil ghoulish spirit or something, toss her down the reactor at Disneyland. And he was going to come back and fix Star Wars. He doesn't even care. But you can kind of hear the heartbreak in his voice every time he talks about it, but he does not care. He's moving on. He's building this new museum, and we'll talk about that. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Yeah, we have talked a lot about Star Wars under Disney over the last couple of years. In fact, that kind of is, I think, what made our channel blow up initially, was talking about, all the idiotic changes that Disney has made to Star Wars, and the shock that the people working at Lucasfilm actually hate you, and that they actually mock you. And, that doesn't feel like George Lucas and in any way, shape, or form anymore. Again, you get some decent fan fiction every once in a while. I think Rogue One was decent fan fiction. I think parts of The Mandalorian were decent fan fiction, but none of it's canon. I mean, the Disney Star Wars stuff is not canon. If it's not coming from George Lucas, I don't consider it canon. But he did this interview with Wall Street Journal. It's called Inside George's Brain, the audacious effort to bring the Star Wars creators museum dream to life. He wants to create the Lucas Museum of Narrative Art, and his most important collaborator is his wife who I think worked for Starbucks for a while. And she's the one, remember, when he did this live stream with these kids at this school, and they took that down, I believe. But she was kind of looking at him when this one kid asked about Finn. And he's basically like, I can't really comment on Finn because I didn't make Finn. Finn's a Disney thing, and I don't really care, And he was kind of going down this road, and she was kind of looking at him like, shut up, George. Shut up, George. Shut up, George. It was kind of funny, actually. I thought it was kind of funny. But yeah, they took that down. And this is what he said. It was a Harlem school, East Harlem school. And there's a seventh grader. He said, the world has changed so much since the first Star Wars movie. How do you think the changes in the fight for racial justice will impact, seventh grader, racial justice will impact Star Wars? And he said, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I kind of lost control of Star Wars, so it's going off in a different path than what I intended. But the first six are very much mine and my philosophy. And I think that philosophy sort of goes beyond any particular time because it's based on history, it's based on philosophy, it's based on a lot of things. And yeah, he really just didn't want to answer the question, like racial justice. I think because, Finn and Rose, and they have more diversity in the Disney movies than the original trilogy, but you can't call George Lucas a racist. I mean, again, look at his wife. I'm just saying. But yeah, I was going through this article and, he's talking about this. I mean, God, it looks like a flying saucer, but you go down through it and you get to this section right here. Talking about Star Wars. So when it comes down to the details inside, Lucas is an approval committee of one. Earlier this year, the experienced museum director who'd been hired to oversee curation stepped down after Lucas opted to do the job himself. He's always been a control freak, right? Lately, he's been picking films for the two cozy but cutting-edge theaters on the museum's ground floor. Okay, one inaugural exhibit will feature the designs of Star Wars vehicles. It's one gallery out of 33, and I did it grudgingly, he said. I didn't want people to come to the museum and be like, where's the Star Wars? So he's kind of like, yeah, I guess I'll put Star Wars in it. 13 years after he sold that universe, has Lucas let go of his instinct to manage it? Disney took it over and they gave it their vision. That's what happens, he says. Of course, I've moved past it. I mean, I've got a life. I'm building a museum. A museum is harder than making movies. And that's pretty much all he said about Star Wars, right? He's like trying to move beyond Star Wars. And that's kind of the news because that has defined him. It's, he started out as kind of an indie filmmaker, working within the studio system, but he was kind of an indie auteur or whatever. And then once, he did Star Wars, everything became about Star Wars. And people forget he made other movies, right? Varying degrees of quality. He made that one CGI movie. Was it Practical Magic? Was that? No, that was the Nicole Kidman movie, wasn't it? I don't know. Something magic, strange magic. I don't know. Whatever it was pretty not good. But he's done some good stuff too. But a lot of people are like, yeah, George Lucas watching Disney ruin his IP, crying into wads of cash. This person said, let me his food court meals in peace. Translation, I'm getting too old for this sort of thing. Yeah, if I had $4 billion, I'd move past it too. So one of his best franchises for $1 billion. It was $4 billion. $4 billion, man. I wouldn't say they gave it their vision. They had no vision. Well, Star Wars fans, on the other hand, haven't moved past it. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it is, no, I've moved past it. I basically have come to the realization that Star Wars, those 6 films and whatever he was personally involved in, that is Star Wars. That's his vision, and everything else is apocrypha. You can take it or leave it, and some of it's okay. It's okay entertainment, but it's never going to be George Lucas Star Wars, right? It's just not going to be, and he doesn't even seem to care about it that much anymore. To summarize, Star Wars is no longer Star Wars shaped; it's mouse shaped. My guy sold his life's work for $4 billion. Said that's that. Yeah. I agree with this guy. Every Star Wars fan should move on too. Why keep eating at the same restaurant if they suddenly added shit to every dish? Man, let go of the Force, but still uses it to shade Disney. He does. He has shaded Disney on so many occasions, guys. Like, there is no way in hell. I can't say there's no way in hell, but very statistically improbable. It's statistically improbable that George Lucas will ever come back in any capacity, especially at his age, to fix Star Wars. I don't think Star Wars can be fixed. I think Disney bought something they didn't understand. They didn't realize that it was intrinsically tied to the creator of the franchise. They fucked it up. It's declining returns. He's already cashed out, and life goes on. And Star Wars will just become another pop culture thing. It used to be, again, look at the audience for The Phantom Menace. It's hard to imagine now, but it was an event. Every Star Wars movie was an event, a massive event. Star Wars was on a whole nother level from every other movie franchise. It was just ungodly popular for years, and Disney managed to run it into the ground in a decade. Less than a decade. Just absolutely astounding how incompetent Disney has been with Star Wars. But again, he got his $4 billion. He's cashed out. He's checked out. I think he checked out because of the reaction to the prequels. And that's part of why he sold it, right? So there it is, guys. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later. For more pop culture news, views, and rants, go to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com.